Okay, this first assignment you're going to do is like last week's stuff, only I've combined like two lessons into one packet, okay? And it's not that long of a packet, but you do need to look. You can't just do the same thing on every single problem. I mean, I know it's nice when you can because it makes it go quicker. You don't have to think as much, but you're really going to have to look at the equation and know which technique we use. Now, you have this sheet. Yours isn't orange, but it has the same things on it, okay? It's like a cheat sheet to kind of use as you're going through this assignment. So if I have an equation, the equation's circled. If all I have is a y over here, y by itself over there, and then on the other side I have x, and then there's a number here, we're going to use our slope and y-intercept, okay? If I have, here's my equals. Now, if I go look here, if I have x and y both over there, I'm going to use my x and y intercept. That's where I make the 0 and the 0 table. Just think of it like that. So I'm going to need to look at the equation and see how it's set up, see what formation it is, and that's going to determine how I graph it. So here's the first one. Circle the equals every time. Y equals negative 3x plus 6. So look over there. Do you have a y by itself? Okay, you do. And then x is over here with a bunch of other stuff. So that's the setup for this. Okay, y is by itself. So I'm going to use slope and y-intercept to graph it. Okay, now remember the slope is the x multiplier, negative 3. It needs to be a fraction, so if it is not a fraction, you put a 1 under it. The y-intercept is a number that's being added or subtracted to your x term, and that's, in this case, is 6. Okay? Now you want to put some arrows, okay? As you can see how I have. The y-intercept is up or down. Well, it's positive, so that would be going up. And then my slope is either up or down. In this case, it would be down, as you can see here, up or down. And then we're always going to take this to the right. Don't ever go to the left. Okay, well, then what you do is you plot your y-intercept point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's my y-intercept point. And then to get my other point or points, I move down 3 from this point, not the middle, because now we're up here. I move down 3 and right 1. So 1, 2, 3, right 1. And then just make the points. Don't worry about getting 3 points down. Just get, all you need is 2. Okay, so there you have it. A nice straight line, because I think I was confusing people with that. 2 will do nicely. Okay, my next one, 2x minus 5y equals negative 10. Okay. First off, don't like the minus on that. Make it plus negative. Now, as you can see here, is the y by itself? No, there's other crap with your y. See up here, y is by itself, so I could use slope and y-intercept. But down here, when I look at the left side of the equals, the x and the y are both over there. So if the x and the y are both over there, we need to set up this table here. Okay, so you copy the equation down twice. So 2x plus negative 5y equals negative 10. And then copy it down a second time, because you want 2 of them because you're going to cross out different things. If I know the x is 0, then 2x just goes away. And then I dot my negative 5y and circle it, and then I just divide both sides by the negative 5. So it's negative 10 divided by negative 5, and that is 2. Now if the y is 0, we can get rid of negative 5y. You can dot your 2x then, circle it, and all you have to do is divide by 2. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. Okay, so again, x, that means stay, and that's going to be going to the left, okay? Y is up or down. That would be up because it's positive, and that would be stay. So I put those together, so 0, 2, so up 1, 2. Negative 5, 0. I'm going to go left 5 and stay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And by the way, when you're using this method, you get this point down, and then you go back to the middle and do this point. It's not like the slope where you go from your first point. Okay, so make that distinction. Okay, my next one. Okay, get that equals circled. And then just look at this side. What do you see? You just see a plain old y, don't you? So if you just see a plain old y on that side, you're going to use your slope and y-intercept method because x is over here. It has a multiplier. Slope is negative 1 over 4. By the way, that's negative 1 over positive 4. And the y-intercept is the 5. So the y-intercept will be up. And negative 1, 4. So this will be down because it's negative, and I still want to go to the right with that. I don't ever want to go to the left. Okay, so you plot your y-intercept first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And use your slope for the other points. Okay, so I'm going to go from this point here, down 1 and right 4. So down 1, right 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do it again if you want. I was confusing people when I did again, so I'm just going to make that line right here. Okay, now look at that equals. Before you graph, you got to see what formation it's in. So I'm going to cover that up. Here, all we had was y. We have y, but is it by itself? No, there's other crap with it. Okay, so I cannot use my slope and y-intercept. I have to use the method with the 0 for x, 0 for y is what I call. Okay, make that plus negative, and then copy it down twice. So 2x plus negative 7y equals 14. 2x plus negative 7y equals 14. So x is 0. You can eliminate your 2x. Dot your negative 7y and circle it, and then divide by negative 7. And 14 divided by negative 7 is negative 2. Now, if the y is 0, we can eliminate negative 7y. Dot it, circle it. Divide by 2, and 14 divided by 2 would be 7. Okay? So again, 0 means stay, and then left or right. Well, this would be right because it's positive. Then up or down, that would be down, and that would be stay. So 0, and then down 2. So stay and go down 1, 2. Now, you don't go from here when you're using this method here. It's not a slope method, okay? You have to go back to the middle, and you're going to go right 7 and stay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's a crappy line, but whatever. Okay. Next one. Y equals 3/5 x minus 5. So here's my equals. As you can see, just ignore the other side. All we have is y. And I know that x was over here somewhere, so I can use the slope and the y-intercept method. So I know my slope would be 3/5. and the y-intercept would be negative 5 because we're subtracting 5. So again, the y-intercept, it's up or down. You'd be going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then my slope is up or down, so 3 is positive, so up. And then we're always going to be moving to the right. It's called the rise over the run, okay? So use your slope for the other points. So you go up, 1, 2, 3, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, my next one, there's your equals. What do you have over there? Well, you don't have just y, you have other things besides y, so you need to use this method. So to find the numbers that go here, we need to jot that down twice. So 3x plus 6y equals negative 12. 3x plus 6y equals negative 12. So I know that x is 0. We can eliminate the 3x. Dot your y, circle it, and then divide by 6. So negative 12 divided by 6 is negative 2. And then if y is 0, we can get rid of 6y. Dot the 3x and circle it, and divide by 3, divide by 3. And that's negative 4. Okay? So again, that's stay, and that would be moving to the left. That's down, and that would be stay. Okay? So I stay and go down 1, 2. That's where the line crosses the y-axis. It's your y-intercept. And negative 4, 0. I go back, but you got to go back to the middle, but when you do that, okay? So negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and stay. That's where it crosses the x-axis. So when I can find where it crosses the x and the y-axis, I'll be able to graph it. Okay, now I'm going to turn you loose on the 4. Pause the video. Do the 4, by the way. Number 4, you'd want that as a 1 right there, plus negative. Okay. Yeah, you want to use your sheet here, okay? Look on that side of the equals. If the y is by itself, you're going with slope and y-intercept on this assignment. But if the x and the y are both over there, you have to use this. Okay, pause it and then come back for your other one. Now this assignment is a lot easier, okay? Tell whether the ordered pair is a solution to the equation, okay? So your equation says 2x plus y equals 10, okay? What they want you to do is put this number in for x and this number in for y. When you see an ordered pair, the first number is your x, the second number is your y. It's like the alphabet. X comes before y in the alphabet, so that's what we're going to put in first. Okay, so what you want to do is parenthesize your x and just put a negative 4 in over the top of it. So just put negative 4. So it's no longer x, it's now negative 4. And then do the same thing with your y, just put an 18 over the top of that, okay? So I know you can't see with the camera, but I parenthesize the x, I just put a negative 4, and then 18. Now, what I really want to figure out is that if somebody graphed that line, would it run through the point negative 418? You know, you're like left 4, we graph that line, would that be one of the points on the line? Here's what I need to do. Okay, kind of use your calculator here for what I do. So I punch in 2, and then a parentheses, and we've put negative 4 in that, plus, I put exactly what I see, and then a parentheses, and I'm going to put 18 for that. Okay. Now, I'm going to click equals. When I click equals, it needs to say 10. If it says anything other than a 10, the answer is no. 10. Then yes. That solution makes the equation work out. Okay, next one, and I wouldn't worry about doing plus negative on this thing, what you're doing here. Okay, there's no need to do that. So x minus 3 times y equals 12. So x, get him out, and you're just going to put a 9 in its place. And then minus 3, take the y out, and you put a 1 in its place. It always goes like that. Okay. So I have 9 minus 3 times 1. When I click equals, if it doesn't say 12, then it's not a point. It didn't say 12. It's supposed to equal 12. So I write no. I need to see the numbers going in. I can't have people just guessing yes or no. You do that, I'm not going to give you credit for it. I need to see somewhere that you put that stuff in. 2y minus x equals 9. Okay? So you got to look carefully. 2 and then y. Well, y is 5, not 1. Y is 5, so we need to take that out and put a 5 in. Minus, and then my x, okay? That's 1. So it's 2 times 5 minus 1. So 2, 5, minus 1. Now, I'm pretty sure this is equal to 9 right now. Because, I mean, 2 times 5 is 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. So I'll click equals, and sure enough, okay? So this is yes. 4x minus 4x minus 3y equals 12. So that's x, that's y. Four and then x, we're going to put 4 in. Minus 3, and then y's out, we're going to put 2 in. Okay. So I have 4, 4. Minus 3, 2. I got 10. I'm supposed to be getting 12. Okay, so then this point is not a solution to the linear equation. Okay. Again, it needs to equal what it says it does when you put it in. Now these mess with people's heads, but they're really not hard. Okay. Y equals negative 6. Is the point 1 negative 6 a solution to this? Well, I have a y, so I parenthesize that, and I'll just put a negative 6 in. And then you don't see x anywhere, so you're like, well, where do I put the 1? You don't put it in anywhere, okay? And there's really nothing you have to do on your calculator because it equals is here, and all I have is negative 6, okay? Is negative 6 equal to negative 6? Yeah, it is. They're the same number, so they're equal to each other. So that's a yes. Okay. And then it goes the same way if I have x. So here's my equals, and then x equals 7. So I put a 3 in there. Does 3 equal 7? No, it does not. Those are not equal. 3 is not equal to 7, so that's a no. Okay, and then you got some to do on your own right here. Remember, use the parentheses and so forth. If you need some help, let me know.